in terms of the bigger picture, Singapore, when you were growing up, it was formative years, early government, pioneering vision, getting things done, setbacks with Malaysia and so on and so forth. They've come through that, and it's now a very different environment that they're operating in. So is the stewardship of Singapore in the right direction, you think? Is it being handled well? Is it relevant to what's coming up?
No, I think so, but it's a very fluid situation. Unlike the early days where geopolitics was quite clean and easy, you know who were your friends and who were not your friends. Today is quite a different scenario. Of course, as far as Singapore is concerned, everyone has to be a friend. After all, we're nothing more than a little dot with just blessed with some granite, and that's about it. But it's the people out there that's making life difficult for us by trying to force us to choose. So it's a very delicate balance that we have to find. We need to be friends with everybody. If only everybody is more open and say, fine, you can be friends with them, I don't mind. But growingly, that is not so. And we have to see over time, if the situation gets worse, it's the courage of the people who have to make those very difficult decisions. It's not easy. It's not so clear cut that if you go left, you're okay, you go right, you're okay. We always know we have to be right in the middle, friends with everybody. But whether people give us that option, that's a big question mark. Yeah.
When you look at the situation in the early days and now, the environment is very different, right? I mean, the whole setup, it was all analog back then, and suddenly so much of it is digital. The thinking is different, the kind of work is different, the kind of needs and wants are also different. Do you need to have a different type of leadership, given the totally different scenario that we are in and will probably step into in future?
No, I think the type of leadership we need hasn't changed, which is the ability to juggle many balls and don't drop any of it. What is more critical is not so much the leadership, it's more of the whole community, everyone in Singapore itself. And that, I feel we need to go back to what are the core values that bind us. And I think we need to do more of that. It's getting everyone here to first feel we are Singaporean. This is our home and work together. We will have disagreement, we have differences, but we are not going to allow anyone outside Singapore to come and tear us apart and work together. I think that's what we need to do. Values. But if you look at the influences through internet and all that, especially from the West, too much individualism, I think, is going to cause a downfall. Everyone talk about my right to do this, my right to do that, and things like that. Singapore is just too small a place to afford that. Yeah, you have your right to have your own belief or whatever it is, but at the end of the day, you must be very conscious. We live in a very small place. We're practically on top of each other. So your decision, your action mustn't impinge on other people's freedom. I think that consciousness is not there. Everyone just talk about me, my right, and so forth. But if we begin to be very mindful that we live in a very crowded place, tiny little island, that whatever we do mustn't impinge on other people's freedom, I think we will have a much better nation to live in and grow old in.
Do you think it's easier for people to, as you get older, to live today?
it comes back to value system again. What is important for you? There are people who feels any 1 year I don't go overseas, it's like, I failed. For me, I never felt that need. So I always joke with my friend when they come back from overseas, they say, oh, that's easy. I just turn on the aircon, go to bed, and I see it all. And I wake up fully charged, refreshed. But that's my value system. They have theirs. It's not right or wrong. So that's fine. You can afford it by all means. But I think people need to be mindful. Ultimately, government can only create the ecosystem, the enablers, but we have to take personal responsibility for ourselves, our own health, our own future. If you want to have high living when you're young and not safe, in your old age you just have less. And you cannot say, oh, but government owes me this, I work so hard for Singapore, you must pay me more. Yes, when you work hard and you earn a lot, but you also splurge a lot. So I think that consciousness is very important. So it goes back to teaching the right values from a young age in school. That I think ultimately people must realize no one owes you a living. Government job is to create a place where it's safe, it's peaceful, it's a place where you can do business, you can do what you love to do. You want to be a musician, go ahead. You want to be an artist, go ahead. You want to do whatever it is. Ultimately, it's your choice. And choose wisely. And if you fail, don't blame anyone about it.